What the hell, Kathy?
What the hell?
What the hell is with these stupid people?
We got some crazy shit.
Yeah, I'll start. What we do on the What the Hell show is we talk about either ridiculous crimes, ridiculous criminals, ridiculous things in the true crime world. Could be phone calls, could be... I think we did federal crimes recently. Like the federal crimes that were still in the books kind of thing.
And then we did one, the last one I did where it was how people had responded to 911 calls.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so you get the idea. That's what we do with our What the Hell episodes. If you like this kind of thing, you can search our channel and find a bunch of them, because What the Hell used to be a small segment on the show, and now we've just made whole shows of What the Hell, which we thoroughly enjoy.
That's right.
There was a goat, and it was arrested after walking into a Canadian Tim Hortons, which is a coffee.
Canadian Tim Hortons,
which is like their Starbucks or whatever.
I'd welcome a goat if I was sitting at a Tim Hortons.
I know, and it's funny because the goat just refused to leave, and the story the web story has like a picture of the goat. Like that's the goat sitting by the exit. And the title of the article that I'm reading says, "He refused to leave. He was very happy," quote unquote.
Aww.
So a goat that hunkered down at the Tim Hortons in Martinsville, Saskatchewan, has been reunited with its owners. They were called to the coffee shop Sunday around 4 a.m. There's a picture like from the parking lot.
Oh my God.
Of the goat just standing in the doorway.
That's terrifying.
The goat had walked into the entranceway of the building through the automatic doors and just settled down for a warm nap inside the thing. Police arrived and loaded the animal into their cruiser. Quote unquote, he was very unhappy with this. So the members decided to take him home instead of to the holding cells at the detachment, which I guess is what they call like your holding cells or whatever. And in a tongue-in-cheek news release, they referred to them as having arrested the animal, taken him to the station. It's pretty outrageous that he was. It's a first actually for the store. I guess they talked to the corporate head offices and they said it's a first for the whole chain, having a goat come in and
I would hope that wasn't a regular thing.
Right. Like it made it through the automatic door. Like it just literally walked up to the store like, "What's up?
Can I get a cup of coffee?"
Yeah. And then made it past the doors and then was just like, "This seems fine. I'll sit here."
I'll just sit here.
Yeah. And then
someone want to bring me something?
The article has all these pictures of this little goat
I'll
sitting.
have to look that up.
As an aside, I was actually watching a video the other day. Regular goats, they're super cute, right? They're like adorable.
Oh, I love goats.
They're delightful and we love them and they're lovely. And then there are Damascus goats.
Oh.
Have you ever seen a picture of a Damascus goat?
Do you have it up on your thing there? I can look it up.
Yeah, you should. They're interesting.
Is this what was at the Tim Hortons?
No, it was one of the cute little goats. But this is an aside because just yesterday I saw.
Oh, yes, I have seen them with the long ears.
So they have very, very long ears and they're massive. They're like as big as a horse and they have these big jowls and square eyes and square heads. They have sort of a cranium that comes out beyond their little fish mouths.
They're so interesting looking.
Yeah. If you just search TikTok Damascus goats, you'll get all sorts of roasting.
They're really cute when they're babies.
Yes, the babies, because they just have these really long, like delicate ears. But when they get older, they're as big as a horse. They have the weirdest shaped body and these heads, like they're shaped kind of like a fish with the eyes on the side of their heads. And
their nose and mouth, when they're babies, though, they kind of look like fantasy creatures.
Yes.
But then when they're adults, the nose and mouth are almost human. It's weird.
Yeah, and they recede into the head. Basically, it's not a good look.
It's like someone who doesn't have a chin.
The one right. The one video I saw was like this woman was saying, I can't ever believe that goats are associated with demons and the devil because goats are so cute until I see Damascus goats, and then it makes sense to me. And I was like, fair.
Yeah. Hilarious. Naked and unafraid, 2 crimes involving nudity. The quiet calm of a town of Merton neighborhood along the banks of Okauchee Lake was shattered in May 2022 as neighbors heard shouting and saw a man running down their street, a naked man running down their street. Waukesha County prosecutors say that the man was 35 year old James Searing of Chicago, who had recently moved in with his parents in their Meadowlark Court home. It's all adding up.
Yeah.
According to the criminal complaint filed Monday, a neighbor called 911 when he saw Searing out in his driveway, lighting his own car on fire. Burn marks can still be seen on the driveway pavement.
Still naked? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
So the sheriff deputies track Searing across a large meadow through a wooded area to a marsh on the edge of Okauchee Lake, where they find him nude, covered in yellow liquid soap.
What?
According to the complaint, he said he was there for a bath.
Wait, what?
Licensed psychotherapist.
In the fire? A fire bath?
Here, hold, this is what he's claiming. According to the complaint, he said, I'm here for a bath. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and I'm pretty much an expert in magic, he added. He was trying to summon a phoenix. This sounds like something Napoleon Dynamite would say.
I know. It sounds ridiculous.
Pretty much an expert in magic. A deputy said when he asked Searing if he'd ingested any illicit drugs, he answered, nothing that should be illegal. His parents told deputies he'd recently moved back home and had started a psychedelic therapy counseling service online. Based on his behavior, detectives searched his room and found what they believed to be a psilocybin mushroom farm.
Yeah.
In glass mason jars and a vacuum sealed plastic bags in a dark closet. So commonly called magic mushrooms and are illegal to use or possess in the state of Wisconsin. So no one answered the door at Searing's house Wednesday, the district said. News said the charges were delayed as they awaited the result of drug tests. Searing is charged with lewd and lascivious behavior, attempted manufacture delivery of psilocybin, attempting to maintain a drug trafficking place, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Clearly, he being nude and rolling around in soap was fine. Because he was in a meadow.
It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. Fine to who? I guess to the cows or whatever was there. It was fine.
Shall we continue with the nudity?
Yes, please. Okay. Please.
Oh, here we go.
Instead of farts and poops and whatever, you've got nudity today.
A New York man was arrested Sunday night after he was accused of gyrating naked on a poker table in a Las Vegas strip casino.
Offensive.
Brian Danilzik, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, 34, was jailed on 5 counts of indecent exposure and 1 count each of battery and disorderly conduct. Metropolitan Police Department officers first started searching him around 11:30 p.m. Sunday, after he was suspected of being involved in a fight at the Flamingo, according to an arrest from the department. The man who was attacked said Danilzik was wearing nothing but sweatpants and had brown hair and a beard. 20 minutes later, a man matching his description was found at Harrah's, but without the sweatpants. Police said he climbed up on a poker table naked and quote unquote flaunted his genitals.
Well, yeah.
He flipped around and showed his backside before 3 security guards pulled him down. Police later reviewed the video that showed him taking off his pants at the Link Hotel before running through the Link and Harrah's naked. Okay, here's the best. He appeared to be in an altered mental state, but was cooperative, police wrote. The longer the investigation proceeded, he still did not recall the encounter, but was more lucid. Can you imagine not remembering this?
No. No.
Sir,
no.
you got onto the table, gyrated, flaunted your genitals, turned around and showed us your backside. But you first started at links by removing your sweatpants. Mm-hmm. You're now nude and running down through the hotels.
Flopping around. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Do we know what's happening there? Because then arrested for flopping his genitals in public, I assume, because, ew.
He was clearly more lucid.
Yeah.
When he was talking about it later.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he must have remembered. Come on. Wouldn't you just say, like, oh, I don't remember? Because everybody had their cell phone out, and it's probably all over the freaking internet.
I would hope you would remember something that, like,
yeah,
that's a lot to do and not remember.
That's a lot to do.
I mean, he was busy.
It's a lot.
He was busy. So maybe like PCP or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine something like that. Or he's lying about not remembering.
Because I know that.
Or he was blackout drunk. Or he was in a benzo blackout. Because benzos, if you didn't know, can black you out as well.
Yeah, I know that sometimes folks on PCP will strip down.
Oh, yeah. Because they get hot and they want to be free.
And there's this whole fantasy that they're doing something like really grandiose and important.
Yes.
So,
because, I mean, clearly gyrating on top of the...
Where was he? I mean, if he was gambling, where was that cash?
Well, and they have cameras all over. Okay. I mean, they just have cameras all over.
We could try to make this practical.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
he had his dick out.
He was impractical.
Yep. At the end of the day, his dick was out, and nobody really wanted to see it.
No.
So you get arrested for that kind of thing. Although, if we had our genitalia out, maybe not.
Well, in Vegas,
girls get away with more.
Yeah, that's true. There would be a lot of photos and videos, though.
This story I want to mention is a quick one because the overarching story is not all that funny. There's a guy, I don't know if you know this, but there was a guy in Queens arrested a few years ago, and they call him the duck sauce killer.
I'm sorry?
And I was like, why is that the moniker? Was he covered in duck sauce? Is that his favorite sauce?
The duck sauce killer.
Yeah, and it actually is because he gunned down a Chinese food delivery man because he didn't give him enough duck sauce.
Wow.
Now, we know that that's probably not the reason why
true.
he gunned down. But then they gave him the duck sauce killer name. One of the articles I was reading about it, he eventually committed suicide. And that was what the article was about. He was a 51-year-old suspect found dead on his couch wearing rubber gloves with the gun in his hand and the radio blaring to the point where it could be heard by cops outside and down the road.
Oh, God.
He decided to wear gloves while were we thinking that we wouldn't know, like you didn't want prints on your suicide gun? Like
That's bizarre.
I'm confused. It appeared he had meticulously prepared to kill himself. He put plastic over the couch before pulling the trigger, and a typewritten suicide note several pages long lay at his feet. It's sus, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this is a weird guy, but Hirsch had emailed the lengthy note to his lawyers, prosecutors, and others involved in the case, denying murdering the delivery man on April 30th amid the suspect's feud with the restaurant over duck sauce. He denies it. This is my dying declaration, he says. He left a long note, but essentially he became overwhelmed by the press coverage and the media attention and the rush to vilification, and he didn't take care of his mental health, which is obviously something he needed to do, and he became depressed and suicidal, and here we are. In this missive, the suspect accused prosecutors of rushing to judgment, and said that there was video evidence implicating him. That was implicating him was non-conclusive. He's like arguing that he wasn't the guy. And what's really interesting also about this guy, which I think just from a psychological standpoint, is that originally he wrote this letter, and this is where we might get into, and I know we're veering off funny, but he writes the judge a letter This is when he was like being accused and tried and stuff. I, Glenn E. Hirsch, the undersigned, hereby declare my innocence in connection with the death of, and then the victim's name. I state unequivocally I am not guilty of the murder and related charges brought against me. I did not shoot him, and I am not responsible for his death. And he literally goes on in paragraph after paragraph to talk about how the cops are bungling the case.
Oh, God.
I would implore the New York City Police Department and the Queens County District Attorney's Office to conduct a proper investigation into the facts and circumstances surrounding his death. My indictment and subsequent arrest in connection with this matter is one of the most obscene and egregious cases of defamation and wrongful arrest in recent memory. I love the like indignation and like the passionate words. It is a textbook case of sloppy police work, confirmation bias, political pressure, and a rush to judgment. So you get the idea.
Rush to judgment.
There's 4 or 5 more paragraphs about how the DA's office is shit, the police are shit.
Well, of course.
Because, I mean, why would I kill anybody over duck sauce? Come on.
What a weirdo. That's weird.
And then he ends up killing himself. And it's like, okay, well,
we could really open up this man's psychology.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tragic, right? But
yeah.
And then there's another case. There's weapons charges. The wife that of the duck sauce killer is arrested on weapons charges, and that's the case that's going on right now. It's a whole thing.
Clearly.
But duck sauce killer, like you're killing people, whatever.
For duck sauce.
Yeah, it was fascinating to me.
Well, and sometimes that's what these are, right? They're more like that is a what the hell.
Yeah, like what the hell with this guy? I don't quite know. I don't have any conclusions about it yet.
So here's another Las Vegas strip.
What is
but no nudity here.
No balls.
The
no
police
junk?
actually outsmarted this guy. It's funny. The police in Las Vegas aren't really as lenient toward misbehavior as the city's motto and tourism campaign might imply. So this is especially true when you make it a habit to murder homeless people while they sleep, which was precisely what some human-shaped turd was doing in early 2017. So after 2 deaths by hammer, bludgeoning, were discovered to have taken place in the early hours of the city, the Las Vegas Police Department decided we're going to stop any more attacks. And they start to get creative in how they want to stop this guy. So the cops wanted to catch this guy in the act, but they were unwilling to stand by and watch as another homeless person, got beaten. They're like, we need to stop this. So one thing they thought about is like, can they just dress somebody up and plant them as hammer bait? Not cool. So they did the next best thing, which is they put a mannequin under a blanket as a decoy and set it up to look like it was sleeping on the sidewalk. And this actually paid off when the individual approached this quote unquote victim, took out a hammer and bashed the mannequin several times on the head.
It's a mannequin story.
So there's shit just like flying and he's just beating the shit out of a mannequin and they caught him.
Okay.
Like, did you not from the first blow realize that wasn't flesh?
Yeah. Like when it dented.
And these poor homeless people they're like being taken out, like his aggression's being taken out on them. I mean, but that's awful.
It's awful.
So how funny,
and also
like the police, they're like, yeah, we're going to throw a mannequin under the
dead mannequin.
Yeah.
That's kind of just ridiculous, right?
It's awful.
A Kentucky man pulled a bag of drugs and a wad of cash when police officers asked him for his ID.
Can you hold that?
Yeah. David, 43, was passed out behind the wheel of his car on Friday in the parking lot of a video store on Route 421 in Manchester, 100 miles south of Lexington, Kentucky. When police arrived at the scene and asked drugged-out Ratliff for his ID, he whipped out a bag of meth, pills, and a large sum of U.S. currency. There you go. Here's my ID. That's just what he did. That's all.
He's like, hey, can you hold that for a second? I got to find my ID.
It's like when they rob banks and the guy will like use his ID or whatever. Or like have a big shirt on that has his like gas station employee name on it or something.
Or like he'll ask the cashier out on a date after he robs her. I saw one like that.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
It's like, can we see your ID, sir? And he just hands him the drugs.
Yeah. Here you
Like,
go.
let's cut to the fucking chase.
Just take these. Or hold on to them while I find my ID.
Yeah. Hold my beer.
Yeah. And then he's like searching his pockets.
It's the very definition of hold my beer.
Oh my God. For real. All right. My last one.
Yeah.
I picked this one because it takes place in, these are Michigan crimes, so I knew all the cities.
Okay.
Crazy funny police reports. So these are actually taken from real sections of a newspaper because they would show the clipping and the year.
Oh God.
Okay. They're real quick. So there's 5. The first one is police respond to a report of a newborn being thrown into a trash can. Upon investigation, officers discovered it was only a burrito. That's the first one. Number 2, the missing bacon. A Grand Rapids resident told police last week that someone had entered his home during the night and taken 5 pounds of bacon from the refrigerator. Upon further investigation, police discovered his wife had gotten up for a late night snack but was afraid to admit it. Number 3, 8:30 a.m. It even has a timestamp on it.
Okay.
A Lamphere Court woman said her son was attacked by a cat and the cat would not allow her to take her son to the hospital. God.
How big is this cat?
I don't know.
Is it a Damascus
Is it
cat?
the Yule cat? Number 4, 2:58 p.m. Another timestamp. The Learning Center on Hanson Street reports a man across the way stands at his window for hours watching the center, making parents nervous. Police ID the subject as a cardboard cutout of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's very Home Alone.
Yeah.
And then number 5, theft. A woman in the 1900 block of 129th Lane Northeast reported October 15th that someone must have stolen her mail because she did not receive birthday cards from some of her friends.
Oh, sad.
Something must have gone wrong.
They wouldn't do this to me. And who's receiving birthday cards still?
Well, these are old.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I do have a couple of friends actually that send me birthday cards still on my birthday, which is, I mean, I treasure that, but it's so rare now.
I get a couple. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I still like to, if I think of it, send like physical mail and cards and stuff to people.
Oh, it's just so nice.
Mm-hmm. She was upset she didn't get those birthday cards, and it could not have been her friends.
It could not have been her friends because she's very popular. Thank you so much for that, Kathy.
You're welcome.
I hope you enjoyed another one of our What the Hell episodes. If you ever have a story you'd like us to talk about, or if you like these episodes, please just tell your friends, like, subscribe and all that. If you would like to support us and make sure we keep going, please check out our Patreon and become a member. We would love that for you and for us. We'd love to get to know you better. But thanks so much. This has been an episode of Terror Talk. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Kathy. Sleep safe, everyone.